Hey guys, so my name is Mackenzie, and I'm going to do my persuasive, like what I love presentation on baking. Growing up, there was always, that was kind of like our family thing. My mom would make all these really cool presents and gifts out of food for like people. Anytime somebody was sick, we were bringing candies and stuff over to their house. So that kind of grew with me. I've always loved it. When I was 18, I tried college for a little bit. I mean, I didn't really try very hard, but I went and I decided I didn't like it. So I went to culinary school and I worked as a chef in Dallas for a couple of years. And, funny enough, chef life is not really conducive to a healthy lifestyle. And I kind of got sucked into like maybe a more dangerous path in life. And it's been 3 years since I lived that way, but I am a drug addict and I have 3 years of sobriety under my belt. But something that was like really important for me when I got clean was like finding what made me happy again. Like I had depleted all my dopamine stores and just my brain was off balance, and I had forgotten who I was as a person and what my identity even meant to me. And so it took a while for me to just realize what made me happy. And so I moved out here to Utah, and I am the only one out of my family who lives here, so sometimes I get homesick, and how I connect with my home is through food. I'll make the same foods that my mom made when I was a kid, and so there are these things called Millionaire Shortbread bars. They are so good. They're like buttery shortbread on the bottom. I'm from Dallas, right? So everything's like heavy Southern butter, 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 sugar, 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 like delicious. But it's like a shortbread on the bottom, some caramel I made on top, and then like a chocolate ganache with a little bit of sea salt on top. I'm just saying, it's ridiculously good. Anyways, I am going to now show you how to make them. Okay, so the first thing we do is we set the oven to 300 degrees. And then we add 8 ounces of butter and 1 cup of sugar. Okay, so this is the part where we are creaming together the sugar and the butter and a little bit of vanilla extract. The beating noise is obnoxious, so I'm gonna just save you all from having to listen to it. And then we go ahead and add a little bit of the flour. This is also where I realized that this bowl is way too small for mixing, so it's a little, if you've cooked before, you know how it is. But pretty much we're just gonna beat this together, and this is making a shortbread. It's just flour, butter, and fat. So, okay, and then this is just mixing it up in a bigger bowl, a little more suited for it. You want it to look like sand when you're done. Right there, sand. Beautiful, beautiful sand. Okay, and then this is just docking it. Pretty much, you're just gonna put little holes into the bottom of your shortbread before you bake it, so that you can let like steam escape from the bottom without getting the whole thing soggy. So that's a little tip trick if you're ever doing like pie crust or anything flaky like that. You're gonna want to dock it. Sweet. Okay, it's docked. I'm betting you're guessing that the next thing we do is bake it, and you would be right. So into the oven we go at 300 degrees for 30 minutes. Okay, and then while that is cooking in the oven, we are going to unwrap an ungodly amount of caramel. Okay, just grab as much as they have in the store and unwrap it, because you're gonna want to eat it all. Okay, and then we're gonna take the caramels and about a half a cup of heavy cream and stir them in a pot until they're like this liquid gold kind of texture. Okay, and then we've stuck the shortbread in the freezer for a little bit, and it's kind of cooled down so that it won't melt into this caramel. And now we pour our liquid gold all over the top of the shortbread. So this is pretty much like a foolproof step as long as you've melted everything together. And then the important thing is to make sure that you freeze this before you pour the chocolate on top, because the caramel and the chocolate have a nice little, or not so nice way of mixing together if you're not paying attention. And then you're going to melt the chocolate. Do it however you want, stovetop, microwave. I'm kind of a microwave kind of gal. And then once this is melted, we're going to pour it on top of the caramel, just like we poured the caramel on top of the shortbread. That's me checking to see if the caramel has firmed up in the freezer enough, and it has. Success. Okay, so I just took them out of the freezer where they've been for about 30 minutes. But here, I'm looking at them.
I could feel the love, can you feel it too? I could feel it, I could feel it, You know I said it's true. I could feel the love, can you feel it too? I could feel it, I could feel it, yeah. You know I said it's true. I could feel the love, can you feel it too? I could feel it, I could feel it,
And I'm excited, but I mean, in conclusion, this is one of those things that reminds me of being a kid, being taken care of, feeling like all those warm, fuzzy family memories. And it's something that I'm really grateful that I get the rest, like that I have the recipe to, that I can recreate this over and over again. Anytime I'm feeling homesick, I'm the only one in my family who's out here in Utah. Everyone else is still in Texas. So, whenever I'm feeling some like Southern style, too much butter kind of food, I pop this back out, and it's, I share it with my friends, and it's gone in a couple hours, dropping it off at people's houses. But, this is also one of those really cool things that I get to do now that I'm clean, like my life is just so much better. And it's been one of those weird things where maybe I could have just talked about how baking is important to me because I love it, but it really is more than that. Baking is important to me because I had to find out what made me happy again after I got clean, and baking makes me happy. Baking makes me feel like I'm at home and I'm having a good time, and it's like a creative way to just relax. I can't paint, I can't draw, I can't sculpt, but I can cook and I can bake. So anyways, I think that's all I got. I'm gonna edit this and see you guys in class tomorrow.